like
have these things that
it's just the
like
pictures.
just
But
I
okay.
Okay, cool.
I don't
Want to do
Hello,
it.
everyone.
Okay, I think I'm gonna get started. I think majority of people are here, but other people should go in.
We're not sure.
But welcome. I'm excited to go over this. I love talking about social media. I think it can be really complex, but I also think a lot of people choose to take it that route. And if you keep it stupid simple, it can be really easy. Because it isn't your main job, and I understand that, and I'm not here to try to get you guys to be influencers. I'm here to help you guys use social media as an aid so that you can hopefully get leads from it. So a lot of the information that I'll talk about today is from family reunion, all the breakouts I attended. I took lots of notes about getting leads from social media, and my goal today is for you guys to leave being able to have a strategy of here are the things that I can post, not just an idea of what a good social media looks like, but exactly what it can look like for you. So also stop me if you have any questions, like I want it to be very interactive, tell me if I need to slow down, explain something, I'm happy to do that. So. Nope. Okay, so we'll start with the problem. Right now, I think a lot of agents post inconsistently, randomly, posting only your listings, and then when you see no results, you're not getting views, you're not getting engagement. A lot of agents just burn out and say social media is not for me, I don't know how to do it. I really don't think social media is about posting more, trying to get out the most content in a day. I think it's about posting on purpose and having a strategy behind it. Okay, so what social media is for, it's not just for marketing, not just exposure or lead gen. Jamie touched on it yesterday, but if you just stop doing like your cold calls and expect social media to bring in leads for you, that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen by just posting. I talked with Sarah about this at family reunion where sometimes you do get posts, the random ones that will bring you a lead. But it also is through messaging people, following up with them. You guys know that better than anyone. It's just a different avenue in social media. So it's relationship building at scale, trust building before the first appointment, and then positioning yourself for that first appointment. Okay, so how do you get there? So do you know how I get rid of this bottom part? Can I?
I haven't ever, so okay. I don't know.
That's okay. Okay, so going from the first follow to having someone that feels familiar with you, then feeling connected, and then they want to feel safe, and then they ultimately hire you. So you might see your followers go up, but you might not see a lot of engagement from people. Those followers can take years to turn into clients. Like social media is a long game. It's not just this short get a follower, turn it into a client immediately. You have to play it like it's a long game. So once they follow you, they'll see your content pop up on their feed, maybe share it with their friends and say, hey, I know this realtor that keeps popping up on my Instagram or my Facebook. I want to use them, let me message them 3 years after I followed them initially. So don't be fooled by all the views that you're getting and all the follows right away. Like that can turn into something, but it just might take a while. Okay, parasocial relationships. So I feel like this is talked a lot about right now with like influencers being a big deal in the social media game with TikTok and Instagram. So going over what it actually is, it's a one-sided relationship where someone feels like they know you. So influencers that you trust, podcasters you feel connected to, people you've never met but would refer. So a lot of the times, like, we can feel really connected to someone where something big happens in their life and we feel like that's our best friend that it happened to. Your goal is to make people feel that way about you. Like, they want to know, like, who you are as a real estate agent, who you are as a person, your family, the ins and outs of it. And the beauty about social media is you get to choose what you put out there. You don't have to put out your entire personal life if you don't want to, but you can choose what you want to put out. If you don't want to share your family, Gary, you talked about it. he doesn't share his family a lot, but he does share other hobbies that he likes to do, like trading cards. And so you get to pick and choose what they see. So I think that's the beauty of it. You can still keep a personal life, even while being on social media. Okay, so going deeper into this, the know, like, and trust formula. I think we all have heard this before, but social media accelerates all three. People work with agents that they know, like, and trust. So do people know what you stand for? Do they know what you like? And do they see your expertise? So we'll go into this more with what it looks like for your content pillars and content buckets. But those are three categories of what do you stand for, like who you are as a person, your views, your morals, and then what do you like to do? Do you like to travel? Do you like animals? And then trust, where is your expertise? Is it with first-time home buyers? Is it with downsizing? Who is your avatar, essentially, which we'll go over that. Okay, so as we know, we're all people, so we know this better than anyone, right? People care about themselves, their problems, their goals, and their fears. They don't really care about your brokerage awards that you're posting. They don't care about your generic motivational quotes, however motivational they may be to you. People don't care, okay? And they also really don't care about your listing posts. Sometimes it's great, and you should do that for your clients because they're expecting to see that
Because
in
it
your
is about
marketing.
them.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
right.
If your clients are friends with you on social media, they expect to see you marketing their listings, right? And some of them will say that to you flat out. So there is part of that, but you don't want your entire feed covered in just listing posts because it
No one cares.
feels impersonal. Yeah, nobody cares. I'm very blunt. You'll find that out. Okay. So story brand basics. Don Miller talked about this. And he has a book, and I recommend people to read it. I'm planning on reading it. I think it's called The Story Brand 2.0 by Donald Miller. And I haven't read it yet, but I'm very excited to. His main focus was going through like the 7 steps of a story, and he goes through that in his book. But I'll touch on it here about transitioning from you being the hero to your client being the hero. So if they have a problem, they need a guide, they want a clear plan, they fear failure, and desire success. You yourself see this in the content that you're liking every day and going through and seeing. So you want to be the guide with authority, empathy, and a plan. So your messaging could look like in a video and a hook line, not look how great I am, look at all these things that I can do for my clients. It's here's how I help you win. So you start with their problem and say like, are you nervous about a down payment on a home? Let me break it down for you. And just that shift in messaging could keep them on your content longer because I think the attention span is like 3 seconds and people scroll past. So you want to get them to stay longer than 3 seconds and then interact, maybe share it out too, because those interactions and them sharing it, if you can make it shareable content, if you can have a call to action and say, hey, comment down below like what you think about this, or message me if you have a question about this. That will boost the algorithm, the more engagement you get, and will boost it to other people's pages. So I think if you leave with one thing, have a call to action in all your posts. Like have them message you, have them comment. It works. People like to talk. People like to share their opinion. Let them do it, give them a space to do it, and then reply. Don't just let it go. Reply or message them, hey, thanks for commenting on my post. And then that could potentially turn into a lead from there. Or I also just talked to someone the other day about if they ask a question and you DM them and say, hey, thanks for asking the question about this. Here's my like guide on how to do it, and give them like a pre-listing guide and send them that. And then there's a lead for you potentially, or call them. And also having your contact information in your bio on your page. All the people that I went to breakouts with, all of them said if you have your page set up correctly, with your email, with your phone number, and what you do in your bio, that's how you're gonna get a lead. Is if you don't have that set up, nobody's gonna feel like they can reach out to you because they don't have the right information. So it can be through direct message, but if you have that already set up, it makes it easy for them. Nobody wants to jump through loopholes. So this is where I might pick on some of you to give you some examples. But I want you guys to write down who your avatar is. So we've said it before, but if you talk to everyone, you connect with no one. And a lot of you might already have this, but if you don't, I strongly recommend you get really specific on figuring out who your avatar is. And so that specific could look like age range, life stage, goals, fears, location, and lifestyle. A lot of the times, this can be a reflection of yourself. So for me, it might be someone that's like looking first-time home buyer in their 20s or wanting to get into real estate investing. Who is that person? For example, 32-year-old first-time home buyer in Eden Prairie, overwhelmed by the market. There's your avatar right there. You have it down to specific. Your content, when you're posting, should feel like it was written for one person. And I want you guys to write that person down. And if anyone wants to share who their avatar is, maybe give people some ideas. They don't have one.
Can I, did anyone else have their hand raised? Sorry. So I would propose that my avatar isn't necessarily someone just like me, just for real estate purposes, because so many people that are in their mid-40s with kids and my kids' age are staying put. You know, they're not wanting to move because their kids are settled and they can't switch the school districts and whatnot. So I haven't really thought about my avatar ever before, but I would say mine might be someone who's either like 10 years older and empty nesting or 10 years younger and looking for that move up house.
That is exactly, like, I was like, I kind of have two.
Mhm.
It would be, like, I worked with, currently in closing with several young families right now that are, bought their first house, now they're ready for the next thing. And then I also work with a lot of people who are ready to downsize. Their kids are out of the house and now they're, so there is like that 25-year age gap.
Right, but it's a
But
good
it's
light
two
bulb
different,
to say, maybe I shouldn't post everything that I like. Maybe I should be posting things that maybe like it more mature, so. Or a younger, more hip, or.
Yeah, and that also whittles down to like where you're posting too. So maybe like Facebook for your clients that are 10 years older, that's where you're posting, and it can be different content. I know it's really easy to just post to both, but it's two different demographics a lot of the time. So my generation is on Instagram. So if you're shooting for that first-time home buyer or young families, probably want to tailor certain content to Instagram and vice versa with Facebook. So again, when I went to these breakouts, their big thing was the first thing that they did to get leads. And one guy said 95% of his business comes from social media leads. He doesn't cold call anymore. He doesn't door knock. He doesn't do any of that. He gets it all from social media. And that took a lot of time. But the first thing he did was figure out who his avatar was. So I think that's one of your main things to take with you and say, okay, who is this person that I'm posting for? And maybe it is two people, and then maybe you tailor it differently on different platforms. So,
Great.
yes.
So on the different platforms, is there a recommended guide for who is on what? I know you mentioned Instagram is your generation and Facebook is for older than your generation. What about the TikTok? Or all the others?
I honestly would suggest using like AI or ChatGPT to help you like get specific with like potential age ranges. Also, when you're scrolling through your feed and who you follow, they likely follow you back. What are they posting about? So what are they posting on Instagram? Oh, okay, these are the kinds of people I have on Instagram. These are who I have on Facebook. YouTube Shorts, probably a younger generation. There's so many platforms that you can get involved on. TikTok can be super hyper local content. So it's also video, and I'm gonna put it out there. TikTok is extremely hard. You can't just post one time and go viral and hope that it gets you a bunch of followers. You have to be posting on there multiple times a day, and video can take the longest. But if you're posting 3 to 5 times a day on TikTok, you'll get there eventually, but it takes a lot of work. It's probably one of the hardest apps to get big on consistently and build a sphere of influence on TikTok, in my opinion. So.
Time to post.
I was like,
Oh my God, I know.
And Gary Vee said, when we were there, he said 7 different platforms, he has so many different handles. I think he posted, what, 300 plus
yes,
times?
but he's also said he had a team of 23 people doing it for him.
Exactly.
Like,
And also, his game is social media. I mean, that's how he built everything. He has multiple businesses, so he has different handles for each business. And now that may be great, and he preached that. However, you guys do not work in social media. You guys are going to sell houses. So if you need someone to run your social media, I'm here.
Oh, what a plug.
So, it's all about leverage and like passing that off. If it's not me, if you have, like, a lot of people I know use like their kids too, like, hey, like I know you have before, you know, like social media, there is a strategy behind it, but if you have someone that knows a little more about you than in social media, maybe Instagram, making a video, that can help ease a lot of that. And it might not feel so overwhelming to get started then, but just knowing we're not expecting you to post 300 times a day, okay?
when I told Stacy that, she was like, "Whoa." I mean, not that we would do that, but when I told her that.
Stacy,
like,
better get
yeah.
started.
She was like, no.
Yeah, I think Stacy's broken.
I think Stacy's target market might be those empty nesters who are a little less on the social media.
Less on the
TikTok.
Yeah. Okay, so when it comes down to like what you're posting, there's personal versus expertise versus sales. So you want a balance of all three. If you post all listings, you're invisible. If you post all personal, you're entertaining and you're not hired. If people don't know you're a realtor, they're not gonna hire you. But it's important that that's not all you are. You don't wanna come off, I don't think many of you wanna come off as super salesy. You wanna be a person around, separate from your business too. So it's important mixing that in. Every post should answer, is this for growth? Is it for contribution? And I can't see the third thing, and to be honest, I'm blanking on what it is. So let me, conversion. If you don't know the purpose, don't post it. So I think it should fall under one of those three things, and ask yourself every time you create a post, is it for one of those things? Is it gonna get me a lead? Am I contributing somehow? Am I getting some sort of information, helping somebody? Or is it for growth? Am I purely doing a trend so that I grow followers?
Can you go back to bed, because my eyes are open?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me know if I'm going too fast.
I'm right there with you. I can't see anything anyway.
Wait, go back, please.
Oh,
My eyes are holding my hands slow.
does everyone got it so far? Do you have any questions or clarification? Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about pinned posts. This is an Instagram feature and it's super important. So your top 3 pinned posts should introduce you, show credibility, and whatever this says, explain how you help. So this can come in like videos. My suggestions for it would be either like a video introducing you or a reintroduction, because I'm sure a lot of people know you, but I think a great post, like if you leave today, say like, hey, there's a lot of new people here. If you haven't met me, I'm Maria. This is what I do. I have 3 kids. I love going to Florida to watch my son play baseball. I have burners. If you want to go through all of that, I think that's a great thing, and that's kind of more the personal side. And then showing your expertise would maybe be, I have this many years in the business. I love helping first-time home buyers or whoever it is in Twin Cities or whatever area you want to focus in. and then showing credibility. So one of these could be a carousel post saying like questions about the market right now, and then you answer some questions to kind of ease their fears, and that shows your credibility. So you can pin these 3 posts on Instagram and they'll show up at the top of your feed. But I think your feed should show who you are in 10 seconds. Like people should be able to go on Instagram and say, okay, yep, I know who this person is, because they might stay for 3 seconds and then exit out and never go back to your page. But you want to hook them in to your page right away.
What's the third one?
Showing your expertise.
Okay.
Yep. So before someone hires you, they scan.
This is good.
Thank you.
We all wonder it.
Now we're in
I
trouble.
did text Jason, but he hadn't responded yet.
So before someone hires you, they scan your bio, your highlights, your pinned posts, and your recent grid. So your highlights are also your stories that you can pin in your bio, which I think is great because all of your stories that you've ever posted are sitting in an archive in Instagram. And you can go through and you can highlight them and you can categorize them and say, this is family, this is real estate, this one is travel, this one is food. You can categorize it into basically your content buckets. So people can go through and look through 100 stories. And I mean, I've done that when I'm stalking people for sure. Where I'm like, oh, I want to see what they're up to. Where are you traveling to? And then I just go through like 100 different other stuff because I'm weird. But some people are weird like that and want to go through your profile. And I also have a lot of fun doing this on my Instagram, and I think a lot of people do. Dana Gentry is a great example of this. If you don't follow her, she's amazing. She's the new Mo Anderson. She's a coach with Olivia. I've done coaching with her. Her Instagram is beautiful. She has a brand story, a logo, brand colors, and she only uses certain fonts on her Instagram. On her stories, she's only allowed to use certain fonts. I think it's 2 different fonts on her Instagram stories. And then like 3 to 5 fonts in her Canva graphics that she posts out, which I think is great. And I agree with that. The people that I run social media for, I also use 3 to 5 fonts and I stick to them so that when you're looking at the feed, it all looks cohesive and it doesn't look random. So I think when people scroll over to your Instagram, they want to see a lot of people like the aesthetically pleasing stuff. So they want to see that it matches. And that kind of is getting into the nitty gritty and maybe stuff that you don't have a lot of time for. Yeah, in here. So. Okay, this I absolutely love. We learned this at family reunion. I can't remember her name for the life of me, but going back to Dana, I talked to her a lot about her content pillars and buckets. So you may have like heard of these referred to as 2 different things, as content buckets and content pillars are the same thing. So my suggestion, and this can be another exercise where you write down 3 to 5 content pillars, okay? For example, one of them could be local and lifestyle. If you want to highlight local businesses, local events, there's one content pillar for you to cycle through every month. Then you have education and market insight. This could be market updates, first-time home buyer guide. The list could go on. My mind's blanking right now. And then the third one could be personal connection. This could be what you like to do. Do you like to travel? Are you a foodie? Your family, your dog. So those are just 3 examples. If you come up with 5, that's great. But if you leave and you list 17 ideas under each of those, that gives you 51 pieces of content. And if you have 5 content buckets and you list 17, I think that gives you 85 pieces of content. And then you just cycle through that. There's 1 quarter worth of content. Cycle through it. There's quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. And you just switch it up a little bit with some of your content. But that gives you a good starting point to, like, you don't have to say, oh, what do I post? because it's done for you, and then you know, is it gonna fit in one of these content buckets for me? So. Write this down. Does anyone want to share their ideas for content buckets or pillars? Paper?
I did, I kind of copied that, but I said like local lifestyle, food, travel. Since I run chats, Instagram, a lot of team bonding and team videos. Those seem to get like a lot of likes, and people always ask us about client events. Seem to do really well when we post about those. So, and then like personal, yeah. What else did I put? And education and market updates and the boring stuff and whatever. But I make it. I started to do it because sometimes I can't find or Chad can't find the time. So I'm like, I just started to do it for him, and yeah, it was fun, and I think it like people liked it, and he really liked it on our social media. So yeah.
Where would you put the just listed or just sold or on the market under one of those? Or are you saying don't put that really anywhere because no one cares?
So that, I mean, I do think you should still post them, but I think it falls under that real estate realm. So you could just like bubble this as instead of education and market insight of just real estate, and then that gives you your 80-20, right? 20% real estate, 80% other content. So if you're posting regularly enough, it shouldn't be that hard to keep it 80-20, because you want to post your everyday. I think great options too are like currently loving this book or this podcast. Anyone else post about it? Like that's a random thing too. If you're traveling that month, what were your top restaurants that month that you went to? And so I think it won't get oversaturated if you're consistently posting your other content buckets, and it won't get filled with a bunch of listings.
Does this also work for the older generation app called Facebook?
This works on every platform, your content buckets.
Rachel Adams Lee is the guest on Jason Abrams' podcast this week. And it's a good one. She talks like a million miles an hour, but it is a good one. And back to the just listed, just sold posts. When I heard it, it reiterated what you're sharing and what we had learned at Family Reunion. And we need to make an evolution as realtors from the simplicity of just sold and just listed, which I'm still in the old habit of, and instead evolve it to like, if I were to buy a 3-bedroom house in Shakopee with close proximity to blah, 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 this would be the listing that I would look at this weekend, rather than saying like, just list it, you know?
It also shows that you're like busy and you're active too. So another way, like outside of just listed posts to market it, say prepping a listing and take a video of you at the listing and like before it goes live and post on your story. And there's other ways to do it outside of just your generic just listed post. Another thing that I'll add to that is the algorithm recognizes when it looks like a business page or an ad. So if your face is in the bottom right corner of your just listed post and it says all your contact information on this Canva graphic, it's not going to go anywhere. Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn recognizes, oh, this person is advertising something. The algorithm's going to work against you. They don't like what looks like ads. That's why business pages don't do as well on Facebook as just a profile does, because Facebook works against promoting your business. So you got to promote yourself as a creator, as an influencer, yourself as a brand. I say it to people all the time that you're positioning you, who you are as Nisha, as a brand, not just Nisha Courtney, real estate agent. It's you as a person. People want to see that. People like the raw content. It doesn't have to be perfect. You look like what you look like and sound like what you sound like. We'll say it until we're blue in the face. But people like that. And so like if you're trying to do a video and it takes you 30 takes, take all the bloopers from it where you're like, oh gosh, whatever, or laughing, compile them all together and be like, well, this was supposed to be a listing video, but now it's just bloopers. You'll see the listing video later when I get it. Something like that. And people like that like fun side, and like if you wanna show that, and there's easy content, there's easy B-roll in that, there's a lot that you can do with just those videos, so I hesitate to say delete those videos where the takes maybe weren't as great, because you can always use them later.
Beep, beep, beep.
Exactly. I literally saw somebody do that. She bleeped herself out and she was just like, oh my gosh, I can't get this. And it was funny and people love it. They're like, this is hilarious, please do more. You know, so people want to see the raw content. It doesn't have to be the most professional looking like videographer did it either. I've spent hours and hours editing a video, posting it. I'm like, this is perfect, it's gonna go viral. And it gets 600 views. And I'm like, okay. Then I spend about 20 minutes on a video and it gets 5,000. I'm like, okay, you know, that's okay. And I heard someone say the other day when I was scrolling through social media, and they said that people spend way too much time worried about the views and the likes that they got on their last video, but you are only as good as your next piece of content. You're only as good as your next video in the realm of social media. So you can't really dwell on that and be like, you know what? Because I can look at that video and be like, you know what, I'm proud of it. I spent a lot of time. That sucks, it didn't get a lot of views. But the next video, we'll try again. And then it'll do better, right? And so you're only getting better as you go. And learning what works, what sticks. If you go through the last month of content that you posted, what works the best, try to reframe that in a different way the next month. I batch content in a monthly basis. So at the end of February, I had all of March planned out for content, ready to go. It helps a lot save time. You can do it on a weekly basis too. But I think that helps with cultivating ideas and then figuring out what works and what sticks. I recently shifted my strategy with an agent to posting pretty much only local content, like asking questions about what businesses do you want to see in town, business throwback, and we've seen a boom in engagement, a boom in followers, and when there was no movement before that, and I was like, I looked at it and I said, you know what, we need to make a switch, we need to change things up. So if you're not seeing something happening, you're not seeing an increase, switch it up a little bit, like throw something in the algorithm that's different, that's gonna change, you know, something that you maybe aren't used to doing, and see if it sticks. It's honestly throwing stuff at the wall sometimes and figuring it out, because hopping on the next greatest trend isn't always gonna work, especially in real estate, because influencers are fighting against going viral, like all in all, but you guys are fighting to go viral like locally, right? You're all wanting to do the same thing. You all want to be the mayor of your town. You know, we say that over and over, but there's only a select few that are actually going to do it. So how far are you going to take it, and what is your niche going to be? Some people are just going to post about restaurants, but are you going to go and record yourself saying, here, come try this coffee with me? Like, oh, love this place, and then tag the business. Then the business could maybe partner with you too. So there's different ways to do it. But that was my example. Okay. So going more into being hyper local. So national content is most of the time people will just scroll. But if you're posting local content, people want to save it, people want to share it. Literally every day I will send a restaurant to my friend. Oh my gosh, we have to go here. I have no idea who posted it, but I shared it to her, maybe don't follow them, and then their stuff will start popping up on my feed because I interacted with their stuff. And then it's gonna start popping up on her feed because the algorithm's creepy and can see that I sent it to her, okay? So it's seeing everything, and it's a blessing and a curse that our algorithm is so, like, hypersensitive. But you guys can use that to your advantage if you know how to strategize it correctly. So this can look like local market insight, your favorite coffee shops, community events, or only Minnesota moments. And what I mean by that is the sporting events that you want to talk about. Jamie just posted about like the hockey tournament that was going on, or what's going on with the MOA and bringing in more tourists, like posting about that stuff. People want to share about it. Oh my gosh, did you know this? I want to go here. So I think that can be super beneficial. And like I said, finding a way to make it specific to you and to your niche. I'm obsessed with this video. This is Kylan Orlando. She's the social media director for KWRI. And Keller Williams Realty just put out this video a couple days ago. And she goes through all the reels that social media or that real estate agents should post in 2026.
Are turning followers into clients. Number one, personality pieces. This can be about me posts, a day in the life, showing off your hobbies, or listing out your favorite home renovation shows. This is your opportunity to resonate with your audience on a personal level. Number two is local market content. This can be local market happenings like new restaurants and farmers markets to check out, a breakdown of different neighborhoods in your area, and local market data like pricing and occupancy trends. This content shows people that you're truly an expert in your market. Number three, educational content. You could do a series on buyer education and cover topics like how mortgages work, getting pre-approved, and understanding inspection reports. Or a series on real estate myth busting and talk about things like, do you really need to put 20% down? And is spring really the best time to sell? This is your opportunity to build authority and trust. And finally, number four, listings. People always love seeing homes, and it doesn't always have to be high-end photography or drone shots. A simple POV walkthrough filmed on your phone is easy to capture and super relatable. If you need a little extra help getting started, check out the Keller Williams social media playbook that's packed with more insights and tips on how you can turn your social media page into a lead generation machine.
Now you guys all know exactly what to post, right? Okay, so going into this a little bit deeper about choosing the right platform. Kind of like I said earlier, you do not need to be everywhere. So like we said, where is your avatar? Where does that person live? What platform do you enjoy the most? What are you good at? Like a lot of people maybe don't know how to use Instagram very well, but are really good at Facebook. Start there and learn what you can be consistent with. If you can't be consistent with just one of them, don't try to add 3 others until you can be consistent with one. I think a lot of people are really into videography and they want to do TikTok and YouTube Shorts. And I think that's great. And I would love for everyone in this room and in this office to get into doing YouTube Shorts and video. But if you can't master the consistency and getting like weeds from it and really kind of finding a way to enjoy it almost and not dread it and say, oh gosh, I suck at social media, I'm done with this. If you can be good at 1 or 2 of them, stick with that and then move on and find another one that you want to start using. I don't use Facebook because my friends aren't on Facebook. We don't use Facebook. I use a lot of Instagram and I want to start using LinkedIn. So those are my 2 that I'm like, you know what, this is what I'm going to start doing. I'll use LinkedIn for business and Instagram is 100% my personal life. So I think figuring out what that looks like for you, granted, I'm not trying to be an influencer and trying to promote anything. But I think before you move to the next biggest thing, the next platform that's out, focus on where you're going right now and what you can do right now to get good at. Okay, wrapping up a little bit. The big shift is going to be when you stop asking yourself, what should I be posting? And then start asking, what does my person need to hear from me today? Like those buyer need reels that she mentioned, I think are great. You can go in ChatGPT and ask, give me 20 different reel ideas for buyer needs. And that's 3 months worth of stuff that you can post out about just explaining mortgages, down payments, like what it looks like. Because a lot of people have no idea, you don't get it. Especially when you do that on Instagram, people are like, oh wow, what? I had no idea. And then people will share it. Did you know this? Like, what's going on? So I think that's a good way to look at it. And then that also goes into your avatar, of course. Okay, I'm giving you guys some time back, ending a little early. But I hope to you guys leave, make a post today, take a picture of your notebook and your computer and say, I'm in the office today, and put it on your story. It's just something, people like that random stuff. Or post your coffee today. Here's what my coffee order is. Enjoying this. Oh, anyone try this new Chobani creamer? Because Megan filled the fridge with a bunch of Chobani creamer. So go, like, people love that stuff. Like, people care more than you think about the personal side of things. And if you have any questions, I'm always around, always here, Monday through Friday. You can book an appointment with me. You can pop into my office, send me an email. This isn't just for booking an appointment to ask for my services or my help. You can also just ask me questions at any point in time, and I'm happy to help. I love talking about social media. I think it can be a really great tool, and I'm excited after family reunion to kind of see our office use it more and see you guys bloom on social media. I love watching your guys' content on there, what you guys post, so I hope to see more.
Oh, thank you.
Good job.
Questions? Okay, I have a stupid question.
It's not
What kind of equipment are people, like, gimbal sticks, is that a real thing? What,
This.
that's it? Like, you're not even like putting it on a thing
I
so it
hate
doesn't
the
jiggle
gimbal
around?
stick.
Why
You
do you
hate
hate it?
gimbal sticks?
I don't like those.
I feel like you need
There's a
something
setting
like a
from
hold there.
family yeah, I mean, I have like a little tripod if I'm sitting somewhere, but yeah, I don't have any, but I know there is a setting, Gracie, maybe you know more about this, and I don't know from, different types of phones. But at family reunion, the guy that came on after Gary Vee talked a lot about like camera settings and video like specifics. And one of the things he talked about was a setting where it does smooth it out. It might not be as smooth as like the gimbal thing, but if you're walking, and I tried it,
Like a
it does.
portrait mode?
You have to like go into your camera settings, and it has to do with, I don't know, I wrote it down somewhere.
I know the new.
But it
Samsung
does make
phone
a
is gonna
difference.
do
Like I
that.
tried walking with it and it isn't perfect, but instead of that, like, it is much. Yeah.
I'm breathing out when I'm walking.
But I honestly like sit at my desk or sit, and you guys, like,
In the car,
I'm in my car all the time.
the car
I
chronicles.
just, I haven't done those this year, and now it's been so long.
Do it.
It's weird to do.
No,
it,
it's
but
not.
No, I've done lots in my car, I just haven't done the car.
No, do the car. Girl, ain't nobody, we don't care. That's it.
People don't expect to see like perfect content from everybody either. And like I said before, the things that I've spent a lot of time on to make look really professional and really good might not do as well. So it doesn't really matter. But I will say what plays, I was just talking to Sydney Segna about this the other day, what plays a big role in getting views and getting engagement are the audios that you use and the hashtags that you use. So if you're editing in CapCut, I strongly recommend not using CapCut's audio that they give you, but removing that audio, uploading it to Instagram and Facebook, and picking a trending audio from there. Because it's been used so many times by people, whereas if you're just posting it from CapCut, it's gonna show us an original audio that nobody's heard of before. But if it's a trending audio, like if you wanna use one from the Harry Styles album that just came out, that's trending, pick it, and then other people that have interacted with that song, it might show up on their algorithm. So that plays a big part in it too.
On the audio note, you mentioned using things that are trending. Do you recommend that versus something that fits the video more or more? I don't listen to Harry Styles, I couldn't pick him out on the street. So I don't know if I would use that even if he's trending, but I might use, I'm just gonna say like Michael Jackson, some song because it goes to, what is your recommendation on that?
Trend.
Trending, my recommendation, it depends on what you want from your content. If you want your content to perform well, from a strategic standpoint, use a trending audio. If you want people to, laugh at the sound you're using, or if you want to like your video with the sound that you're using, then you can go for the Michael Jackson or whatever. But sometimes he just had an audio that was trending, and I did a video with Ryan for it, and it did really well. And so you don't have to pick like a Harry Styles song, but sometimes there's like artists that you do like that are trending, or songs that come back and they start trending again because of some random thing on TikTok.
Right.
Also, the videos from TikTok go to Instagram Reels and Facebook way later. So if you can get ahead of something, if you see a trend on TikTok If you can get ahead of that and post that to Instagram and Facebook, you're ahead of the trend on Reels, because Reels hit a couple months after TikTok does. Oh, yeah. Because like my family my mom isn't on TikTok. She'll send me a reel from Instagram and be like, this is hilarious. I'm like, yeah, I saw that 2 months ago, but thank you. So, so if you get ahead of
That's my avatar. I say things that I think are funny and then I post them like 6 months later.
Yeah.
I am that avatar.
Trends, here we are.
I don't post them immediately.
Yeah.
Rarely, I should say.
So it's
You're
just
behind the
another
trend.
little
I'm so behind.
What was the second thing you said, audio, using trending music, what was the other thing?
hashtags.
Hashtags.
Now, didn't somebody just say that hashtags ain't important anymore?
know.
Yeah.
So, and it was in, not like you in this office, but like, I feel like in a training or something, they're like, hashtags are
I
dead.
think you have a limit on hashtags now.
But you've always had, they've always said that, but no, somebody was like, no one cares about hashtags anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And that's fine,
be super nice, but I think,
No,
it's fine, I don't remember who said it or what class, but we were all like, hashtags is what you're supposed to use.
so if you actually are studying like trends, there are some months that hashtags don't matter, but majority of the time, I put hashtags in every single post. And I don't do 30 of them, I don't suggest doing that, I don't think that's the right way to do it.
That's too many.
But I think doing somewhere between 3 to 7 is a sweet spot, and keeping it like local content. So like I search all the time, like a restaurant that I haven't tried, because I wanna see what people like wear to this restaurant, so I make sure I'm not like underdressed or something. I'll search it on social media, and then it comes up with people that put that hashtag for that restaurant, and then I'm scrolling through and finding their content. So people still find content through hashtags, despite like popular belief. But if you're actually analyzing like trends on a monthly basis, sometimes hashtags don't matter. Sometimes carousels perform better than reels do. It's not a consistent, reels are always gonna do better than a static post. It honestly depends on the week. Instagram, Facebook, social media changes on a daily basis. And it's hard to keep up, but if you have a baseline for what you can be consistent in, just do it and it'll work and things will stick.
how much time is a
My hand
realistic?
was raised, ma'am, before you started speaking.
You're behind me,
Well, that's not my.
sorry.
No, you're fine, go ahead, I'll remember.
How much time is realistic to book aside? Like, when we're time blocking and trying to fit everything in. Sarah, you guys that are doing Gen, how much time are you saying, hey, every week we need to block out 5 hours to build our content? What do you?
I would say on a weekly basis.
Stacy says we need a reel, and so I do a reel.
Yeah, sometimes it looks like that, but if you wanna like schedule it out, I would say realistically, take 2 hours a week, go to a model home, maybe shoot some video, take some pictures, do some B-roll content, and like find a buddy and then go take 6-second videos with each other. Or take a picture of you drinking coffee and you can use that as an overlay for something. Like, so I think that would be a realistic starting point.
I know it wasn't in the presentation, so I don't really want to jump in, but because there are many of you in the room and Kate and I talked about this recently, per the code of ethics, if you are promoting a listing that belongs to someone else, you have to say on your post, this listing provided by Stone Cottage Construction, whatever it is. And then also keep in mind, if you have a coming soon listing, you can promote that on your social media, you just can't show it. If you have a withheld listing, you cannot put anything on social media. So if it's withheld, don't do the sneak peek, but if it's coming soon, you can do that sneak peek.
So like if you go to a model home and like she said, like take the B-roll, you
Yeah.
have to like say.
Courtesy of.
Because you're not technically like promoting that house, you're promoting yourself with that house in the background, that's what I was gonna ask too.
So there is not a police of this.
Just you.
We're yeah, I'm the police, right? To try to protect you.
Yeah.
We self-police one another through the Association of Realtors. So the risk you run if you don't is that you get a code of ethics violation, and then you have to explain yourself in front of the attorneys and a panel of peers, and you will likely have to do more continuing education and even pay a fine. So you could explain to the panel, but I wasn't promoting the model, I was only promoting myself. And then the panel will be like a 50-50 chance if they buy your explanation or not. So to protect yourself of the drain of stressing about it, having to go into the Association of Realtors, as your broker, I'm encouraging you, every one of those posts, no matter what you say this listing brought to you courtesy by. If you choose not to do it, so be it. I speed on the freeway, I go above the speed limit. That's my risk.
I see a lot of people who do like their headshots and, you know, like they'll book out a house and they'll go do their headshots and then there's nothing
Right.
like saying anything about that house.
Sure,
You
sure.
know?
Yeah, I mean, Maria served on the code of ethics before, so you could probably speak to it a little bit better. Like if I were on the panel, I would say, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. No violation. But there's some jerks who serve on it too.
But I mean, I feel like if you're putting the address out there or something, or, you know, like, or doing like a walkthrough or something, like I understand,
Yeah.
like, yes, listing that, but I don't know.
So
Well,
if you
what's the
were
other-
like how the certain people do it, where they walk and they like touch the counter, and then they'll be like, buy your tip, you'd still have to put it there too. If it was like some.
No, you don't have the address.
Am I
don't
getting
think,
in the
right?
weeds on it?
You are, and I am not the decision maker.
Just
So
be on the
I don't
highway.
really, want to say like, yes, you
But
do,
you would-
or no, you
You
don't.
would
But if
suggest.
I were to do that,
Yeah.
I would put it in some sort of tiny
Yes.
little spot
Yeah.
somewhere, so that when you go in front of your panel, you can say,
Oh, it's right there, actually.
yes. I mean, in white, in the smallest, teeniest
Uh-huh.
little font,
Yeah.
you know, but that's
We
that's
do
just
that,
what I
like
would do.
Parade of Homes a lot, we'll take different pictures of
Yeah,
different
that's-
homes,
yeah.
but maybe then hashtag Parade of Homes 20 something like that would be enough, or do you think you'd wanna put, like, address the builders of the properties you're putting a picture of?
I've only been in front of this panel, like, I don't know, maybe 6 times, you've probably been in 30, so what would you say?
Maria.
Oh, geez.
Maria said she wouldn't.
Yeah,
Maria said she's turning me in.
I honestly, I cut people a lot of slack on things. If you're doing lifestyle shots, like you're taking a photo of the faucet, like,
I'm not listing the,
that seems,
that's not,
inaccessible.
like, you don't have, that doesn't draw attention to that specific listing, so I don't know that I would make a big deal about that at all. Now, if you were doing the front entry of the house, you know, like the outside panoramic of
This
it, I'd be,
property, like, yeah.
I'd give some credit in there.
Yeah.
I might even go so far as to say, if you have 250,000 gross commission income and they slap you a fine, you're like, okay, here's my $1,000 check. But if you have not sold a house yet, and $1,000 would prevent you from paying for your CE or your cell phone or something, I'd probably be a little, cautious.
And on those posts, you could make that so obscure.
Yeah.
To give that credit to it.
Yeah.
Do you give credit to the person or the brokerage?
It's the listing brokerage.
The brokerage.
So you can just say like
Listed by.
listing courtesy of
Courtesy
EXP or
Yeah.
whatever.
I do the agent and the brokerage.
I usually do too.
Kate does a really, really nice job of it, so take a look at her social media.
Well, because I got called out on it, but I learned. That's where it happened. So, and honestly, I just will copy and paste it to each screen. So I'm not like retyping it. So if I'm showing, let's say like 6 different areas in a home, I'll post each picture on full screen, obviously. And I make it small enough so it's not like, it's huge, but you can still tell that I'm being purposeful of listing it.
And I'll compliment you, A, because you took my advice and you've done it to the next level. But now that I'm seeing more of your posts, dang girl, you show a lot of houses and those other brokerages are so lucky for your promotion of them. So if I'm an average consumer out there, I'm like, this girl works nonstop. She must sell, 100 houses a year. So it really builds a lot of credibility, I think, on your social. Sorry to talk about these rules.
Oh, no, it's fine. They're important.
Okay.
So-
They're boring.
She didn't have anything else to tell us.
Yeah, I will say I am teaching a part 2 class on Tuesday, not about like what you post, but what I heard from top agents, using social media on what it looks like to actually get those leads outside of posting. But there were kind of messaging behind it, interacting, not posting and ghosting. So I'll go over stuff like that.
That's
What
this
time is
coming
that
Tuesday.
class?
10. Next Tuesday.
Just reschedule like.
Wait, for real?
You just got your hair done. It looks so good.
I'll be at the parade.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah.
So fun.
Thank you, Grace.
All right.
Yeah,
of
thank
course,
you
thanks
so
for
much.
coming.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do like a walk.
We have
kind of a
it.
video,
Yeah.
video